adult-leaning content platform OnlyFans. I can mention that one without getting demonetized, right? Maybe? I guess we're gonna find out together, friends. Anyway, when the game dropped on Itch.io and later on Steam, a lot of people just assumed it was a joke game. It was only there for the memes. And honestly, don't blame them. It's a game where you spray water on soda cans and take sexy time photos of them, all the while with them moaning in appreciation. There is an uncomfortable amount of moaning. As you might imagine from that short montage, the joke wears off kind of fast. But man, will you look at those cans? No, really, look at the cans. The can renders are shockingly high quality. And the new flavors that are getting revealed are always funny, with names like raw meat, 4 cheese, veggie broth, and sardine surprise. But because there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of gameplay going on here, most people probably don't make it all the way to the bottom of the list, where instead of the usual play more to unlock tease leading us to the next character, we instead have a phrase of please don't unlock. Suspicious. And if Doki Doki Literature Club has taught me anything, it's that you don't underestimate warning screens. I mean, that one teased you with warnings of highly disturbing scenes, and boy howdy did that one deliver. OnlyCans, meanwhile, kicks things off with a warning screen about body horror. Also BDSM clowns, but you know, the body horror thing is the one that really stands out in a game about aluminum cans. But oh boy, does that body horror exist if you choose to ignore the warnings and open the final can contained in an ominous box labeled "Do Not Release." Keep contained and just simply no.
Who's in the box? What's in the box?
Ladies and gentlemen, today we're dealing with a conspiracy of the highest degree. One that pours out of the game and has us exploring websites, source code, and even altering the game files themselves DDLC style. All to piece together the real horror story that's bubbling under the surface of what would otherwise appear to be
roll up your cushions. What?
Step 1 in solving this mystery involves piecing together the main lore using the fragments we get via the in-game descriptions. Our story centers around Shees Sodas, which dates all the way back to 1744 when the Shees family made a voyage across the Atlantic, presumably part of the early American settlers traveling from Europe. By 1844, Shees had a full production company under the control of John Shees I, who apparently had a real knack for thinking on his feet. Take, for instance, one incident where the production facility broke down right before a charity ball, and he had the bright idea to, quote, throw a few fresh veggies and some expired chemicals into a nearby pot, thereby giving birth to his new flavor, veggie broth with morphine. Eventually, the company passes into the hands of John Shees III, who is the closest thing that we have to a main character in this story. After early success with his controversial blueberry tart flavor, he starts using his soda empire for political power throughout the 80s. In 1983, Shees III releases a special limited edition jelly bean flavor as a way to, quote, connect with high-ranking politicians of the time. He follows this up shortly later in 1986 by releasing 2,100 cans of a limited drink to investors, giving special rings out to this elite group, thus securing his own personal Illuminati. That one worked better than Illuminati, right? Anyway, that new flavor's name, Lemon Party. By the way, do not Google that. Trust me on this one. Just trust me on this one. Do not look it up. Of course, no indie game would be complete without a dead kid to add to the drama. Enter John Shees IV, beloved son of John Shees III, who, shortly after the release of Lemon Party, dies. Of course, no indie game mid-20s under mysterious circumstances. Based on a letter that we see in the game's DLC, Hot and Steamy, we can infer that John Shees III thought that John IV's wife was the real one to blame for his son's mysterious disappearance. Here's that letter. Dear Joy, I hope you're doing well, my dear. I know we haven't spoken since the passing of my son/your husband, but I've decided to create a Shees drink in your honor, Blushing Rose. I hope Blushing Rose will be the olive branch we need after some rocky times between us. I know I've made some accusations about my son's death, but those are in the past now. I'm working hard to honor his legacy, and I would love for you to be a part of those efforts. Please enjoy, John Shees III. So, was the son murdered by the wife? Apparently John III thought so, at least for a while, but what's really going on with this death? Don't worry, we're gonna get back to all this. Already struggling to deal with his loss, things go from bad to worse for John Shees III when his company gets bought out by a Russian bootleg brand named Shees. Notice the different spelling, same pronunciation though. The new Russian owners immediately oust John Shees III from the company and start rolling into a string of bad decisions, releasing an onslaught of flavors that they think is going to appeal to the American palate: tangy ketchup, mustard, and mayonnaise. Again, these are soda flavors. Now with more time on his hands, John Shees III starts what the game calls a decade-long voyage of mourning. But he wasn't just trying to get over his grief of losing his son and his company. In true indie game form, he was on a mission to bring his son back from the dead. did. From the various can descriptions, we can piece together the fact that John Shees was researching the occult and the supernatural. He starts in Romania, researching local customs and legends. In 2012, he befriends a high-powered Egyptian businessman who, quote, grants him access to the country's ancient relics. And as we learned from the Juicy Melon Can, after several years of discussion, John Shees and Ichiro Yori of CyberLife Industries found the Shees Research and Development Facility. This was alleged.
Sexual activity involving freedom. Oh my god. Flaccid penis like other men. Must. Okay, to qualify for this event, you must go to the subject. Do not pay attention to the lemon braid of David Sloan. My head hurts, guys, from researching this. JK, I'm not gonna die.